You don't need to get confusion about SAP BW and SAP BI. Okay. So SAP BI is a complete data warehousing tool from where you can extract the data from different source systems and load into the SAP BW in different data targets. Like we have INFOCUBEs, data store objects, master data. And then on top of that, we'll do the reporting. So SAP BI is the data warehousing solution. So normally what it can do, you have business systems like ERP systems. Those are business applications like sales application, inventory application, like that. Those are all OLTP applications. Where all the business data immediately updated into OLTP systems. BI is a OLAP system where you have all the data from different sources, from different domains, different kinds of source systems to do the multi-dimensional analysis. We will use the SAP BI system. Okay. So if we start with the history, the initial name was BIW, Business Information Warehouse. Business Information Warehouse. Later on that has changed to BW. And later on that has changed to BI. Again they rolled back the same as a BW. BW 7.30 is the current version. Okay. So you don't need to get confusion with BI, BW. Both are the same, but at different levels. They called it with different naming culture, but obviously system is same and functionality also is same. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been almost a long time. In '98 they have released the initial version. Almost 14-15 years like that. So as a SAP BI consultant, exactly what is your role is going to. So you have different source systems. So here source system can be SAP source system or it can be non-SAP.
Right.
Because for different applications, different companies are familiar. Right? Like for example, Salesforce CRM is there.
Right.
And PeopleSoft is there for HR. Oracle Financial is for finance specialist. Like that. So it can be SAP source system or it can be non-SAP, or it can be application, or it can be flat file, or it can be database like Teradata. It can be any type of source systems. But simply we can divide that as a SAP component or a non-SAP component. And then we are going to load the data into SAP BW system. So in BW system we have only two types of data. One is master data, second one is transaction data. What we are going to do here, we will load the data into BW and we will analyze that. We will analyze the transaction data with the help of master data. Meaning that, for example, say you have 100. So only 100 does not get any value, or it does not get any mean. What is this 100? Can be number, can be weight, can be currency, like that. Something like I can say that sales. Again with sales. Maybe I might have some product ID. Something like a PID 001. Right? So this is master data. Or you might have something like a date. Like this. So then only After having the date and product only, it is getting the meaning. I mean, we are analyzing the transaction data with the help of master data. So that is how we will use BW system.
Okay.
So we have master data and transaction data, two types of data. So if you want to have something more understanding about master data, you have a material number and you have a sales order number, you have a purchase order number, and associated to that something like a material group or material type, which item has been ordered, what is the delivery date. As a transaction data, something like a opening stock as a material, something like a quantities to be delivered. Okay, so this is the master data and this is the transaction data. So once we loaded the data into BI system, and then we will use BEX BEX Analyzer, which is a reporting tool in SAP BI system. It's a reporting tool to analyze the data. So you need to extract the data into BW and do the modeling and then report. Extraction, modeling, reporting. These are the three topics which we need to work on as a SAP BI consultant. Is that clear? So what is this OLTP and what is the OLAP? So OLTP example is your business systems. As I said, you have sales application, inventory applications, purchase applications, CRM applications. As and when business has happened, immediately updated into OLTP system, online transaction process. Whereas OLAP means it's a data warehousing system, a decision making system, where you have entire historical data. Because in order to take the decision, as the BI is a decision system, you must have the historical data, and you must have some combinations also.
Right.
To create interactive reports to analyze the data as a trends. OLTP will be faster, OLAP will be slow. Because OLTP should be updated as fast as and when you deposited money, as and when you withdrawn money, as and when you done some payment, should be updated immediately. OLAP means that will contains all your past payment transactions also. So in order to read the entire historical data, it might take some time. Okay. In OLTP at the same time, many numbers can log in. In fact, in business systems across the company, hundreds of the users or thousands of users can be logged in.
Right.
Whereas OLAP system, a less amount of users compared to OLTP. Because only decision makers like a CFO, CEOs or frontline managers. So these kind of persons can log into OLAP since they are the decision makers by running the reports. OLTP is a flat model, meaning that there is no multi-dimensional.
Okay.
OLAP is a multi-dimensional model. That is what OLTP and OLAP.
Okay.
And any data warehousing consultant first must know about star schema concept. So what happened here? We are discussing about we have different source systems, right? Or something like a SAP ECC is one of our source system, right? So here in ECC we have sales tables, right? Material tables, finance tables, something like HR tables, info tables, right? So you have sales order is a column, right? And you have sales item as a column. Sales distribution, something like a distribution channel is a column, and some quantity. As a material, you have something like a material number, opening stock, closing stock, right? Something like a total stock. As a FICO, you have something like an invoice number for a particular purchase order, okay, for a particular item, how much quantity has been delivered.
Right.
As a HR, how many number of hours taken to produce the product, what is the wages per hour per head, like that. So this is each and individual tables, right? And these are individual domains.
Right.
An SD person can work on SD side, MM person can work on MM side, HR person can work on HR side. These are flat.
Right.
One-to-one. And different persons. But whereas come to business, one manager cannot handle all these different locations or different domains, right? He must need a simple reporting tool where he can log into system and just click on some Excel or some report and run the report, because business users are the non-technical persons.
Right.
The terminology which business person use and the terminology which production person use is different. So in that case, we can use OLAP system. That is what we are talking about now as a SAP BW system here. For each and every module, you have different tables and different columns in OLTP. So what is the data types we have in BW? One is master data, second one is transaction data. Okay. So all the master data, what are the sales order, as we discussed earlier, something like an item, material number, okay, associated with something like metal group like this, and invoice, and something like a delivery date. As a transactions, quantity, price. So you have only two types, right? One is master data, second one is transaction data. Now, in the star schema, all the master data will be stored into dimension tables. Like you have customer dimension table, supplier dimension table, time dimension table, geographical, product dimension table. Different dimension tables, right? Because in ECC you have separate tables to store all the data. Whereas BI there is not such concept. It's a multi-dimensional.
Right.
We are analyzing the same transaction data in a multi-dimensional.
Right.
What is the sales order quantity? What is the material number quantity? What is the quantity delivered on so and so invoice number? But quantity is same. But you are viewing you are analyzing in a different perspectives. You can see the center is the fact table. So our transaction data is nothing but facts.
Right.
So the center fact table is surrounded by different dimension tables called as a star schema concept. Is that clear now? What is the difference between OLTP and OLAP, and what is the star schema? Now, how this is being related? As you can see that the center fact table is surrounded by different dimension tables. Each and every dimension table is having some primary key. So normally what we know that every table must have some primary key, right? So as a part of that we have different primary keys from different dimension tables.
Mm-hmm.
From a product dimension table, you have product key.
Right.
Primary key. The same is getting as into fact table
Mm-hmm.
as a foreign key.
Okay.
Like the same supplier,
Mm-hmm.
time, retailer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is what classic star schema concept. How the multi-dimensional model can be generated.
Right.
So there are some limitations, and how we can overcome and what is the extended star schema, we can see that slowly. So BW is based on extended star schema, not like a standard star schema.
Okay.
We will discuss in detail. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in BI, we have three types of data. One is attribute data, second one is text data, third one is hierarchy data, and the fourth one is transaction data. Okay. And we have three parts in the BI. First is modeling, second one is extraction, third one is reporting.
Okay.
In the modeling, we are supposed to create the data targets to load the master data and transaction data. So in the master data, we have attribute, text, hierarchy.
Okay.
So attribute in the sense, as you can see that if you have associated data, this is what master data. Sales order is the main characteristic, followed by sub info object is the item. This is master data. Text means you have only two columns. One is language, second one is description. Meaning that, for example, M001 is English, okay, and this M001 means electronics. So this is what text data kind of.
Okay.
Description and language and hierarchy. Hierarchy in the sense like how different plant locations, for example. Okay, so you have an entire plant something in New York. Again, one is bottling plant. Second one is filling plant. Okay. Something is like a delivery plant again. Like it's creating like a hierarchy. So this is what hierarchy data.
Okay.
So we have to create master data, text data, and hierarchy data.
Okay.
That is what about master data loadings. We have the transaction data also, right?
Right.
For the transaction data, we will use INFOCUBE concept. For the transaction data, we will use INFOCUBE concept. Where it is a multi-dimensional model.
Right.
So we are going to analyze the transaction data with the help of master data, and most of the reports can be created on the INFOCUBEs, not on the master data, because master data does not have any other information. Only with master data we cannot analyze, right? That's like a standard. So INFOCUBE is for the transaction data, and this is multi-dimensional reporting and aggregation data, aggregative data. And DSO, data storage objects. Data storage object. So this is for the data staging layer purpose. So before getting into the load to the final INFOCUBE, as a middle layer we'll use the DSO.
Okay.
It will be useful to load from the different combinations.
Okay.
For example, you have sales item data, sales header data, and sales delivery data. So you can create a sales DSO to combine all these, and then finally sales INFOCUBE.
Okay.
I mean, this is what the data flows you can see in the real time. Because INFOCUBE is having a cumulative functionality. If you are accumulating that, your data will get changed. That will not be the correct data. So before that, you must have some data staging layer. That is what DSO can be used for.
Okay.
And to analyze the different combinations, we have multi-provider. Sometimes you need to analyze sales data with the material, because SD and MM almost kind of hand in hand. COPA data with FI. So in that case, if you want to use that like kind of union concept, union. If you want to analyze the delivery key figures with the item, because whenever ordering the item, you may not deliver the same amount of data, right? So kind of union. You might have sales order is different cube, delivery is different cube.
Okay.
If you want to do some union, then you can use the multi-provider concept here.
Okay.
INFOSET is join concept. Multi-provider is the union functionality. INFOSET is the join functionality.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what about data targets. Like first is master data. In master data again we have text attribute hierarchy. Transaction data INFOCUBE.
Okay.
DSO data staging layer purpose. Multi-provider for the union functionality purpose to analyze the multi-dimensional data.
Okay.
INFOSET is the join data.
Okay.
So these are the modeling data targets. Okay. INFOSET and multi-provider physically does not store any data. Just these are the views. These are info providers.
Okay.
Which are physically storing the data, DSO, INFOCUBE, master data targets.
Okay.
So once you are done with all the modeling of the data targets, then we may focus on how to improve the data target performance while reporting the data. So normally we used to create the index, because always index can perform the better search. Aggregates, which can give the, I mean, whatever the frequent data you are reporting, you can create a kind of mini cubes. And statistics refresh. So these are the different performance tuning techniques. Compression. Okay. Selective deletion. If you loaded some wrong data or unwanted data, then selective deletion. These are all the performance tuning techniques. Process change. So we discussed that we are supposed to load the data from OLTP to OLAP, right? From ECC to BW system. We are not there to just load the data every day and all the time to spend the time for only data loading. As a manual.
Yeah.
So process change can automate this data loading process.
Okay.
So regularly it will load the data into INFOCUBE.
Okay.
It's a continuation process. So we'll monitor process change, whether it is loading the data or not correctly. That is what modeling point of view. Once you model the data, once the data is there in the BI system, then we will start to create the reports. To create the reports in BI, we have Business Explorer, which you can see that query designer.
Right.
So where you can call your INFOCUBEs and drag and drop whatever the characteristics, whatever the key figures, what are the headers or columns you want to see in the reporting side. This is how it looks like.
Okay.
Once you design the query, you can publish that using Bex Analyzer. It's an Excel interactive.
Okay.
And if we have WAD also, sometimes you may need to see the charts, pie bars, something like a radio buttons.
What is WAD stand for?
WAD, Web Application Designer.
Okay.
It's
So
a URL based.
Explorer, Business Analyzer. Are they?
Bex Analyzer.
Okay. What was the earlier one which you said prior to Bex Analyzer? This is Explorer.
This is Query Designer. You can see that Query Design.
Okay.
To create the query.
Analyzer is used to publish.
Publish, exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Whatever
BW developer,
that, right?
BW developer can use this Query Designer to build the query like this.
Right. Right.
To publish this and to access this, end user can use Bex Analyzer.
Okay.
Because end user is more interactive with the Excel side.
Right.
Till date, Excel is the powerful report. Everyone can work on that. So that's what Bex Analyzer is, one type of analysis, interactive analysis.
Okay.
Another one, if you can go with URL, and if you want to see some more options like pie charts, bars, radio buttons, drop down list, then we can go for WAD, Web Application Design.
Okay.
This is the reporting side.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have modeling, extraction. We'll see that reporting. So as extraction, we have ergo extraction, generic extraction, basically. Still we have some more extractions also, like a COPA, FIC and all. So all these are coming from the source system as a SAP ECC system.
Okay.
Okay. So part 1 is modeling, part 2 extraction, part 3 reporting. This is what SAP BI. Why we are loading the data? To analyze entire historical data into data warehousing system. SAP BI consultant job is going to be extract the data into BI system from different source systems sorry, and create the data targets, can be cube, can be DSO, multi-provider, and then report the data.
Right. So basically you go ahead and design your model, which is a structure, and then you go ahead and extract, is it?
Yes, exactly. So first I'll design my structure in the BI system.
Okay. Yes.
And to that I can extract the data.
Okay.
I mean, before loading the data into target, I am preparing my target installations or target places. And then I can load the data from source system.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
So this is basically just like any developing tool. You just go ahead and prepare the module, and then you again connect it with the source system, pull the data, and basis on that data again we will go ahead and do the reportings.
Sure, obviously.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions or doubts?
No, nothing much. Nothing much.
Okay.
I actually a little more about you. So how many years of experience you have into this, and where are you currently working?
I have 7+ years experience.
All into BI? All into BI BW?
I have started my career as a BW consultant.
Okay.
I have worked from BW 2.0 and BW 3.5 and BW BI 7 and BW 7.30 on HANA.
Also, you worked on HANA too?
Yes, currently I'm working on SAP HANA and SAP BOBJ.
Okay. So does, as per your knowledge, do you think SAP HANA would not go all by itself? What is the combination of knowledges you need along with SAP HANA?
Along with SAP HANA, obviously that must be the BOBJ.
You don't say SAP BI BW is necessary?
Prior to that, you must need SAP BW. Otherwise, you cannot understand what SAP HANA.
The reason is why I'm asking is I'm already certified in SAP HANA.
Oh, okay, that's great.
So I was looking out for projects, and the reason why.
But obviously they can refer you. They might ask you, have you worked on any data warehousing tool like SAP BI? Obviously.
Yeah, would they ask only SAP BI, or would any kind of a data warehouse tool help?
For me, if you are out of India, any data warehousing can be worked out. If you are in India, that must be the BW.
Okay, yeah, I'm currently in New York, and I'm actually working as a quality test lead. So I've been working on data warehousing tools only for the past 6 years now. So, but most of the times they always say that I was trying to market myself for HANA, and they are saying that you always need either BI or BW, or you need to know BO. There's a combination is what the requirements are.
That's what I said. Either you can go with HANA BOBJ, or you can go with BW HANA.
Okay, got it.
I mean, it's a kind of fast.
Right. That's how you get the requirements fast.
Yeah. It is up to us how to choose that.
Okay, and how is the market for SAP HANA in India?
It is there, but in India, they are giving internal training and they are deploying BW consultant into HANA or BO consultant into HANA, since they know that what exactly the business data warehouse.
Right. So HANA has got scope, you think so?
For me, it's been 1.5 years as I've been working on this.
Okay.
I mean, genuinely as SAP, I do work for SAP.
Okay.
So we are working for North America and Latin America projects.
Okay. So where exactly are you working for? Which company are you working for? Is it a multinational company you're working?
I'm working for SAP only.
Oh, you're working directly for SAP.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have any kind of a tie-up here that you could place people after the training? How does that work?
No. I'm just here trainer, and remaining everything you can discuss with your who is organizing this session.
Okay.
I'll help out for your resume. I'll help out for your technical subject and all.
Would you help out in the resume? As in, I mean, I cannot prepare the resume because I don't know which client has the SAP project. So would you be able to get me a dummy resume?
Definitely. Not only dummy, I can give you a perfect resume where you can launch, except the client names. You can put out your client names.
Okay.
So remaining everything I can prepare, and I can support for your interview. I mean, what kind of questions you may expect in an interview.
Okay.
And how to crack only the interview and all. Then in that front I can update you.
Yeah, do you give after training, I mean on the job support too?
No problem. I'll be available.
You do get that. You would be able to get that.
No problem.
Okay, yeah.